Shalom. Koholo Yahweh Ba'ashum Yahusha Ba'ashum Regach Wadash, the monster of the apostles, the monster of the elders at Green Millstone who rule well and taught men the truth. Much respect to you brothers out there just preaching his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of earth. The tabernacle of David is being risen up right before your very eyes, a hopeful elect, and the speckled bird. To you I say shalom. Let's get into this lesson. As you see the title, right? Dry bones, or slash exceedingly great army, right? In which the Lord has risen up, right? In which especially Esau, Edom, and other nations, they're scared of, right? The next rising of the Israelites coming back into power. They're having spiritual flashbacks about that when they were in subjection and under captivity under us. You know, that's why, you know, you look out throughout history, you know, these other kingdoms, these other nations reigning and ruling, right? That kingdom wasn't known to be a great kingdom pretty much until they had the Israelites under subjection, right? Let me move this to a light background. But yeah, so now we're coming back into power, right? You know, had a video, you know, with the apostles. I remember this video very vividly of, you know, I guess one of the top banking families, you know, some top Edomite diplomat or whatever, you know, high ranking Edomite within this world. You know, he said, says, you know, how'd y'all figure this thing out, man? You know, just roughly paraphrasing what he said, but how you figure this thing out? We spent millions and billions of dollars to hide this truth. Well, the scriptures is clear, right? If this was of men, this thing will come to naught. But since this is of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahusha, right? Since this is of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahusha, right? This is going to come to fruition, whether you like it or not, right? The scripture also, you know, phrases itself, you know, least you be found, you know, to be fighting the Lord, you know. That's pretty much what you're doing. You're fighting the Lord. You're fighting a losing battle, right? It's already prophesied, as I'll get. It's already prophesied that we're going to raise up, right? And the scriptures speak of the devil knoweth that he has but a short time to rule this earth, right? So yeah, you're going to get your NWO up, right? Going to get a lot of people hipped up, but you're not going to be able to enjoy your kingdom. As the scriptures say, the Lord shall reign upon him while he is eating. So yeah, you're not going to be able to enjoy your meal, right? It's going to come to pass, but you're not going to be able to enjoy it. Just like, hey, what we have going on, right? What the Lord has prophesied, us coming back in our right minds, getting those new bodies, right? Reigning and ruling in the kingdom, traveling to other planets, right? The earth being clean. It's already prophesied. It's already prophesied. So let's get it. All right. We'll start at Ezekiel 37, verse 1. The hand of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahusha was upon me and carried me out of the spirit of the Lord and sent me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of dry bones, right? Verse 2, and caused me to pass by them round about. Now, Salaki, right? Before I get into this a little bit more, I remember being a young lad in church. Right? I remember being a young lad in church and the pastor breaking down Ezekiel 37, totally wrong, right? As we'll get, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself. You know, it speaks about, you know, the dry bones coming back to life. Now, absolutely, the Lord can do this, but this is spiritual, right? Absolutely, the Lord can physically raise somebody up from the dead. Hey, our big brother Yahushua has done it, right? The man of the Lord has done it, right? But this is spiritual, right? What take note, this is spiritual in what we're reading about, right? Us coming back to our heritage, us being in our right mind, right? And caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there was very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, Oh, Yahweh power, thou knowest, right? You know, you got to put yourself in Ezekiel's shoes. He was seeing our people in a dead state, right? Worshiping all these other gods of wood and stone, right? Eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, wilding out, man. You know, you can speak for yourself, you know. However condition you was before you came into the truth, right? You were not in your right mind. You were in a dead state. You were spiritually dead, right? Verse 4, and again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And that's what we're doing out there on the highways and byways, fishing for the elect, right? Thus saith Yahweh power unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. You see? And this is the doing of the Lord, right? This is the doing of the Lord. You can't choose this life. You can't go to cemetery school and think that you're called of the Lord. No, the Lord has to call you, right? Let's see. And cause breath to be enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and I will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah. Right? Because a Christian will read this. You know, I've been in the Christian church. I already know they read this and think that it's talking about physically. No, it's talking about spiritually. Right? All your whole mind, you getting back into that right mindset, man. Right? Verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, the bone to his bone. And when I beheld, and lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered from them above, and there was no breath in them. So yeah, they awoke, but there wasn't no breath in them, right? Then he said unto me, prophesy to the wind. Prophesy, son of man, and say unto the wind, thus saith Yahweh power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. And check this. So I prophesied as he commanded me, right? Because we're supposed to preach the word, right? Even if it seems like, you ain't doing nothing, man. As pertaining to, seem like you ain't catching nothing. It's just say, hey, prophesy to the wind. Just preach the word, right? You're going to catch something. Preach the word. And at the end of the day, this thing of ours is only for the elect, right? The elect is outnumbered by the 2/3. So you always got to have that in mind, right? You may even, get somebody to come up to the camp. It may seem like you almost catch them, and then they flail away. It be like that, man. It be like that. But this thing of ours is only for the elect, right? So yeah, you just preach the word. Just do it. And with the internet, the unicorn, right? Because you can go to the YouTube, analytics, and it will show you where most of your subscribers or listeners are at. And, speaking for myself, and most definitely, I would say for the apostles and elders and brothers on down, especially have been in this thing a lot longer and have a more renowned name within this thing. Hey, best believe they have been reaching from all throughout the world, right? I go to mines, got a few in Canada, You know, most definitely the U.S. right here in Babylon, over there in England, right? And that's just how it is, right? I believe in Australia as well. I know I made a yeah, Australia as well. But yeah, regardless, this thing has reached through the four corners of the earth, and all you gotta do is stay at your post and preach the word, right? So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. And this is what Esau Edom is afraid of, right? He has spent millions and billions of dollars to keep you in the dark, to keep you from knowing that you are the children of Yasharallah, right? You are the prince of the power. That's what Yasharallah means, prince of the power, right? They have kept you in the dark from that. But it's already prophesied that the elect will wake up, right? This is verse 11. Then he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We are cut off from our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. So the Lord woke us up, right? We started doing the work of the Lord, right? Making our calling election sure, doing that which is pleasing unto the eyes of the Lord. And eventually, Yahweh desire, if we have those men, right, of the elect, we're going to get those new bodies. We're going to get those crowns upon our heads, right? And ye shall know that I, and also we're going to be brought back into our holy land, right? And the nations are going to build up our kingdom. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, when I have opened your graves, O my people, brought you up out of your graves, and put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. And I shall place you in your own land. Then ye shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, which spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord. So the Lord's going to do this. That's why these other nations are scared, especially Esau, right? Because they see us waking up, preaching the word, doing the work of the Lord. They know the time is short, because soon the kingdom is going to be here, right? So you gotta do your NWO. You gotta do what you do, right? But regardless, it's already prophesied that you're going to lose, and we know you a sore loser, right? Ezekiel 37 verse 15. Let's get this as well. The word of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua came again unto me, saying, Moreover, the son of man, take thee a stick and write it upon it for Judah and the children of Israel for his companions. Then take another stick, write upon it for Joseph and the stick of Ephraim for all the house of Israel and his companions. Right? This is the 12 tribes sign, the 12 tribes chart in which we read it. Right? We telling you, hey, you're from the tribe of Judah. Hey, you're from Benjamin. Hey, you're from Levi. Right? Hey, you from Simeon. Right? Hey, you Ephraim. You Issachar. Right? You Asher. Right? You Naphtali. Right? And so on and so forth. That's what we're doing. Right? Preaching the word. Hey, you're possibly from this tribe. Right? And that's a hook. That's a catch. Right? Verse 17, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? You see, I already went into the example. Hey, you're from such and so the tribe. You're from this tribe. You're possibly from this tribe, right? Say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel and his fellows, and put them with him, even the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. right? Explain, hey, you from this tribe, you from this tribe. But ultimately, right, this is a sign of things to come. We're not going to be known as separate nations anymore. We're going to be known as one nation again, right? We're going to be known as one nation again. And that's coming, man. Let's get this right here. Isaiah 30, verse 20. And though the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thy eyes shall see thy teachers. You see, Lord's dealing with you, right? You're going to stop sipping the cup from these starter camps, and you're going to start sipping the big boy cup, right? From the true men of the Lord, the men of GMS, and the affiliate brothers, man, that have the same and true likewise doctrine, right? Your eyes are going to see thy teachers. That's why we give double honors unto your teachers, man. And it's well deserved, right? And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. You see? Man, this is truth. You know? Talking with the brother, hey, we heard the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and we knew. Hey man, this is the truth, man. This is the truth. All the other names, all the other names we were calling upon, right? And which we thought were right. Nah. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua was the true name. Go out there on the highways and byways, right? You know, be Superman at camp, be Clark Kent throughout your day-to-day life, right? Not out here with your t-shirt and fringes, walking around. Yeah, I'm, putting a target on your back, making it easy for these companies to fire you. Hey, we knew that this was a way, man. Right? Ye shall defile also the covering of thy graven images of silver and the ornaments of thy molten images of gold, and thou shalt cast them away as a minstrel's cloth, and thou shalt say unto it, get thee hence, right? That that eases peace, right? So on and so forth. Of these other guys that want to stone, you ain't gonna be carrying that no more. You ain't gonna be wearing that no more. Right? Got this right here, precept to Ezekiel 37, right? Revelation 11 and verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from power entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a voice from heaven saying, come up, Slakia. So Slakia, meant to break that down at verse 11, right? They saw this great army, man. Right? We were woken up. They're afraid. They're fearful. They know that their time is short, right? Verse 12, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying to them, come up hither, right? Yahweh Ratazah, we hear that, man. Yahweh Ratazah would get beamed up. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. You see? You're going to get beamed up in them chariots, get them new bodies. But everybody that scoffed, mocked, and laughed, and ultimately not of the elect and of the other nations, are going to look upon you in awe. Right? Hey, that Wisdom of Solomon 5, right? In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory unto power of heaven. Right? The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. So, hey, Yahweh does not get beamed up in them chariots, and you'll see the destruction of Babylon the Great. Let's get this as well. Baruch 2 and verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. So, yeah, the 2/3 is not going to hear the Lord. They're going to reject this word. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, you see. This was already prophesied that this was going to happen. And they shall know that I am Yahweh their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. You see, it's the importance of knowing the true name of the Lord, right? And doing the work of the Lord, right? Giving the Lord praise, right? and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, and they shall remember the ways of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, right? Walking in that old path, understanding why we're in this condition, because we chose these other guys to win the storm, right? Take it to the chin and keep it moving. Easier said than done, but hey, you got to do it. I shall bear it in the nation of the Lord, right? And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Why? Because the Lord is not a man that he should lie. It's already prophesied that it's going to happen. And they shall be lords over it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people Israel out of the land that I have given them. Right? The new covenant, man. Jeremiah 31:31, Hebrews 8:8, right? New covenant, man. Let me get this real quick. 2 Ezra 2 and verse 27, be not weary, for when the days of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. You see, that's coming. You see? The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall not be able to do nothing against thee. My hand shall cover thee, so that the children shall not see hell. Be joyful, thou mother, with thy children, and I will deliver thee, save the Lord. So, hey, this is what the Lord has promised for us. Hard times is coming, but hey, you're going to be merry and have abundance, and especially in the kingdom. The heathen is going to envy you. They're going to see you with their spiritual power. They're going to see you get beaten up in them chariots. And they're not going to be able to damage you or do anything. You know, we went into ruling with a rod of iron, right? That's unbreakable, you know? An unbreakable rule. You know, no disobedience. No one getting out of order whatsoever, you know? Anybody tries to get out of order, you're going to be broken to shivers, man. All right? But yeah, Yahweh Ratazah is an edifying lesson. Shalom, shalom, shalom.